in New Zealand, it is pretty interesting how properties are valued. People I know and clients I have all interpret their property's value a little bit differently. But here are some really important things to understand whether you're buying your first home or if you've got a home already. The everyday person looking at what their property's value is will probably look at comparable sales, maybe sales that have been sold on the same street of where they're looking to buy or where their property is. They'll look at homes, OneRoof, realestate.co.nz, and also the council's valuation for the property that's done generally every 3 years. All of those three ways that I just explained how the everyday person values their property don't actually have any significance whatsoever. And there are actually three other ways that have actual significance to determine what your property's value is, depending on what you're looking to do. The first one is what's called a registered valuation, and that's where a registered valuer will go and inspect the property and determine what the value is. The cost to get one is about $800 to $1,000 for a standard residential property in New Zealand. The second significant way that properties are valued in New Zealand is through bank valuations. And the third significant way is actually having a real estate salesperson in your local area telling you what your property would be appraised to sell for as well. But the two key ones I want to touch on and why they're so important is the registered valuation and the bank valuation, especially in my line of work with being a mortgage advisor. So at the time I'm making this video, the Reserve Bank of New Zealand has said that the major banks can lend up to 70% of the value of an investment property and 80% of the value of an owner-occupied property. And I'm going to share with you two examples of bank valuations playing significance both for me personally and for one of my clients. So for me personally, I bought my property for $327,000 earlier in the year, and my lending was $310,000. But the bank valuation was about $440,000, something like that. For the first 6 months at the major banks, the criteria is that they will use the lower of the two between the bank valuation and the purchase price. But say in 6 months' time, if I wanted to go through the major bank's route, something I could do is I could get a new mortgage of $352,000, which is 80% of the value of $440,000. Plus, it also meant I was off the low equity margin that was being charged on my interest rate of 1.25% because I bought with the 5% deposit. Another example of this is I have clients that bought a property 2 years ago and they have mortgage lending of $610,000, and they also want to take 20 grand out to do repairs on their property. And at the bank they want to go to, the bank's valuation for the property is $750,000. So the only other alternative for them if they want to go to this bank is to get a registered valuation of more than $785,000, which is a bit risky, right? Because obviously they have to pay $800 to $1,000 for someone to go value their property. And honestly, I could go so much more into depth with this, but if you're looking at buying a property or you have a property already and wanting to understand what the value is, feel free to reach out to me and we can run through your position and see what options you have available.